Off we go. Okay, guys, let's do G major. A 1, 2, 3, and. Okay, how's everybody getting along with G major these days? Good. I saw you dropped out for the E string there, Heather, but then you came right back in when we landed on the A. That's great. Excellent. Staying in the game. Anybody having any problems at all with the old G major? Any notes in particular that are bothering you or anything? Because we're going to try speeding it up. So I want to see, before we do that, if anybody wants to work on anything in particular. Okay, let's do it. Let's speed it up. Okay, here we go. A 1, 2, 3, and. Now, how did that feel? First of all, two things. First of all, how did it feel with the intonation at the faster tempo? Did anybody's intonation suffer when we went faster? Not too bad. Lena, yeah? What way did you notice which way you were suffering, flat or sharp?
It's always on the A string, but sometimes it's flat and sometimes it's sharp.
Oh, so not consistent?
No, but always on the A.
Always on the A. Now that's interesting. It could be that you're not really settling back to a home base very, because A is your home base, right? And so maybe when you're moving around the neck, maybe you become a little bit unsettled and you notice it when you get to the A type of thing, because that is your home base. And so my best advice to that is try not to pinch on the neck. Try to stay loose and relaxed around there so that when you do come back to the A string, you feel normal. And when I say that, I mean you're bringing your first finger down. You're not really kind of reaching forward or back. You're just kind of bringing it down, and it's good. You know what I mean? So just look for that. Try to study that feeling. So when you're practicing and you find that you're in tune, try to study how that feels on your hand. Okay? And watch for a tendency. Now that's good to point out. Now the what I notice with people when they're trying to go faster on scales or anything is usually a flatness, because the faster tempo means that you don't quite take the time to bring the finger pressure in on each note that you normally would. Because I think we were working last time on how to improve your accuracy. So trying to notice how many times you have to play a note, how many attempts to get it in tune. And when you're getting closer, like many of you guys probably are, you're probably finding that there's usually 2 attempts to get the note in tune. And that's your first attempt is getting it in the right place, and your second attempt is bringing in the pressure, and now you're in tune. You're like, oh, right on. And so you want to learn to bring that pressure in right away, okay? Right on your first try. That's the last little hurdle to get over with intonation, okay? So if you notice that when we went faster, a little bit of flatness, then that's probably why. Now, sharpness happens when you go faster too, but it's usually just because it's like, oh my God, it's so fast, and you tighten up that hand, and up she comes, just like that Christmas toy with the guy that shimmies up the telephone pole. You know, exactly the same motion. Okay, that's nervousness. That's where your hand kind of because of the faster tempo. But more often, I've noticed the lack of finger pressure. Okay, so we're going to try it again, and I'm going to get you guys to bring that finger pressure in as much as you can right away. Now, the other thing is, how many people had trouble keeping up with the tempo with the bow? Did anybody notice that it was a bit trickier? Stopping in the middle, stopping at the end reliably, you know, without a whole lot of stopping distance, you know what I mean? Did anybody notice that when we went quicker? It gets a little harder to judge these things. So we're going to do it again, and this time you're going to try to bring in pressure right away, and you're going to try to think like you're driving an old truck with bad brakes. You got to think ahead to stop, okay? Give yourself a little time. I remember once a guy took a car in, or a truck in, it was a truck on trade at the shop, and it was a day Dad had these push, pull, drag your trade in events all the time. So any old hunk of junk you had, you could bring in and give you $1,000 for it on your trade-in, right? And you wouldn't believe what people brought in. It was the most ridiculous things in the world. There were some cars that weren't even cars. And I remember I got in this one truck to bring it to the used car lot, and I get in it, and Dad says, "Careful in that one, it's got one brake, and I don't think that's a brake." And he was right, man. He was right. You had to think ahead. Give yourself some time. So let's try this again. Same speed, except you're going to try to make those little changes. Okay. 1, 2, here we go. How are we doing there, guys? Is that better? It's great. Excellent. Very good. Now let's try an arpeggio. We've done the G major arpeggio, right? Let's give that a go. Let's just do nice long bows to start with. Ready, and... that looks so good, let's just do it again right away. Ready, go. Now, how are we feeling about the arpeggio? Did that feel nice and solid and comfy? Okay, faster. A 1, 2, 3, go. Again. That looked pretty cheerful. So how's everybody feeling about the arpeggio? Yeah? Pretty good? It's good. It's more important than the scale in a lot of ways because of those gaps. Your ear really learns how to judge the gaps. So spend lots of time with that arpeggio for sure. Okay? Now let's try our A major scale. Okay? We did that, right? We did A major, right? Yeah, starting down on the low A. Okay, so let's do that. First of all, we'll do it with regular bowing, because I know it's a tricky scale for sure. And once the fingers come down correctly and nicely and confidently, we'll do it with one of the patterns. All right, I don't know which one yet. We'll see. I'll watch the bows and I'll decide what we should do. Okay, so we'll do the A major scale nice and easy. Here's your A. You want to tune that A. Yeah, okay, here we go. Ready, and... All right. Now that looked pretty confident again. Everybody feeling good about A? It's a tricky one. C sharps are coming in okay. G sharps are coming in okay. So let's try one of our bowing patterns then. Okay, let's try... Have we done this one yet? Okay, that's hand, 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 arm, arm. And we'll do one of those on each note of the scale. Let's see how that goes there, guys. Try to use, for the arm ones, try to use your whole bow. Half the bow for the short ones, whole bow for the long ones. Ready, 2, 3, and... a fun adventure. How did everybody feel about doing that? Anybody have any problems or comments or anything they want to say about it? No? So one of the points of doing this exercise is to get your wrist doing the bowing for you. Did you notice how I was doing that? Check this out. See that? So my hand is doing a down bow and an up bow, down bow and an up bow, and then my arm is doing a big down bow and up bow. See that? Now I'm looking at the wrists and I'm seeing some movement, which is extremely good, okay? When you first start trying to do this thing where you're bowing with just your hand, it's very difficult to get the hand to actually move. Like, you think you're doing it, but you're doing about this much maybe, you know, or maybe about that much. But what you want to be doing is what you see me doing here, which is down, up, down, up. So this is the end of my up bow. See that? This is the end of my down bow. Well, I still got my finger hooked under, so it looks more like that. See that? Up, down, like that. So, and that's how I play most of my music. I'm sure I've told you guys that already. See that? So when you first start trying to do it, you guys are in the same boat, no different than anybody else. So I see about this much movement. For some people, I see more. I see like this much, which is really good. But for most of you guys, I see about this much, which is, you know, it's a start. It's really hard to even get that joint to move at first. And I do see everybody doing that. So now it's just to extend it a little bit. So let's do it again. This time we're going to let the left hand, don't worry too much about it, okay? We're going to really, and even if we have a little bit of scrapey sound or anything like that, don't worry. We're just trying to get this movement happening. So let's try one more time. A 1, 2, here we go. Pretty good, pretty good. Now, really good wrist movement that time, guys. Really good, much better. So I'm seeing more and more of the wrist movement. So let's try practicing that this week. Let's try doing that. You can use one of the scales or anything at all. It doesn't really matter to get a good clear sound just with the wrist and then with the arm, because that's 90% of what I do. Is there any questions about that at all?
When I do that, my pinky just flies away and my thumb straightens out, and I can get like, this is happening fine, but everything else went out the window. Like also everything was squeaky. It was like this. My notes were like.
Yeah, no, I mean that's okay, because you're trying to just get something happening, right? Now, so the pinky, I'm sure you noticed that my pinky comes off too. See that? My pinky is not even close to being, because I don't really need it. I do need it when I finish that. See that? Other than that, it's fine. The thumb, try to avoid straightness, try to still keep a little curve in that thumb as much as you can. That should help with the kind of squeaks and stuff with your bow kind of skittering on the strings. It'll help with that. And also remember, a little bit of this will help with that too. Okay?
Okay.
But let that stuff happen for now. Just kind of keep trying to do it. And I should tell you that it looks really good. Like I'm looking at you, I see that wrist is moving. You might have a little bit of making the sound suffer, but it's moving. So keep that going. Just try to clean it up. Okay? Really good. Anybody else have anything about that? That looks good, Julie. Really good. Really good. Yeah. Yeah. Very good. Now, I will tell you one thing, which is I see a little bit of it with you, and I have seen it a lot. Most people, when they start to get this technique, the down bow goes okay, but then the up bow kind of is hard to do. And for you, you kind of look like this. See that? And then you did an extended down bow to get that. Oh, yeah. That is nice. That is looking good. Okay, everybody see that? That hand movement there? That was really, really good. You want to do it again, Julie? Mary missed it. Yeah. Especially that up bow. Very, very good. Okay, that's the idea. Do you have the feeling like the bow is going to fly out of your hand on the up bow?
Not so much that it flies out of my hand, but it doesn't feel very sturdy on the strings. It feels like it's going left and right.
Yeah, for sure. Now, and that's okay, because what's happening is your fingers are finishing that up bow, right? And so it's kind of losing its little bit of a grip that it has on the bow just for a second there, but you're going to want that because you want that loose grip. So when we get playing jigs and reels a little faster, you're going to be kind of chucking that bow up with a bit more confidence. See what I mean? Okay, looks really good though, really good. Anybody else want to try doing it for me that I could watch their hand? That was great. Yep, that's looking good there, Heather. Try a few more. Yep. Now, that's good. I can see that on the down bow looks great. I can see on the up bow you're getting to about here and then you're trying to figure out how to get the rest of the way, okay? So look how I do it. I curl those. Remember bow push-ups? Which I know you guys have been doing every day diligently since I told you about it. Bow push-ups. So the up bow, when you do the up bow with your hand, that's basically the top of the bow push-up. See, the up position of the bow push-up. Yeah. When I'm finished my up bow, that's what that is. And then down she goes. See that? Yeah. That looks a little better there, Heather. Here's the up bow. The end of the up bow is the top of the bow push-up, and the end of the down bow, which is kind of the bottom of the bow push-up. Okay? Let's do it one more time. What the hell? We'll go a little quicker. It certainly takes a long time to play the scale when you're doing it like that, but it's worth it. It's good practice. Okay, here we go. Oh, excuse me. 1, 2, 3, and... That looked good. That looked confident. Everybody feeling all right? Julia, catch your breath. Okay. Anybody have any comments or anything like that about that bow technique or the A major or anything? No? Okay, cool. So now, I seem to remember last time we were working on a new tune, the Egan's Polka, eh? Now, I can't remember whether we got through both halves of it or not. Or whether we just did the first half. Can anybody enlighten me as how far we got?
That's the carry right there.
The carry polka, yeah.
Okay, yeah, we went through both parts.
We got both parts. It's pretty repetitive, so I'm not surprised if
Yeah.
we got through both parts. Maybe we'll get another one tonight. They're so simple and easy to get. Maybe we could get another one tonight. One that we could get one that doesn't use the E string, Heather. Or try anyway. Okay, well, why don't we try playing Egan's? And or should we? Maybe we should warm up with an older one first. So, and we just did A. So we learned the Rosebud, right? Okay, let's work out on the Rosebud. Let's do it a good few times. Try to improve the sound quality and the intonation and the feeling content. All right? Okay. Yep. Okay, Rosebud of Allenvale. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. looking pretty good there, everybody. Anybody having any problems with the Rosebud? Or any successes they'd like to tell me about? Or anybody that would like to play it for me so I can see if it sounds good or anything like that? No? Okay, well, it's all right. But everybody's getting along okay with that? No problems? It's a great tune. Great old tune. All right. Well, let's say we do... yes?
Elaine here, I have a question.
Yes.
Do you have a particular pattern that you use for the bowing of that?
Yes. My overwhelming pattern for a tune like this is, check this out. Now, first of all, I should say that regular just uppy downy will work for this tune. There's no reason why it can't work. So if you get confused about your bowing, you can always just go back up to straight old uppy downy, just like that with a good sound, okay? But for a nice rhythm and for a nice effect, I do a bowing pattern, and it looks like this. Now you see how I'm doing that? Kind of like up, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So sometimes you got to go up for the downbeat, you know, and you try to make that as strong as if you were going down. And the rest of the time you're playing that big downbeat and then a little slur afterwards, okay? In the second part, for instance. See that? So it's all about the down bow, down beat. Now I've talked about that before. Our down bow is our strongest note. We have gravity going for us. It's easier to move the bow straight on the down bow. And so we use that for our nice strong notes. And then the up bows you can hear is kind of like the breath in before you talk, you know? The pickup is very much like that. See that? See? And it makes for such a nice strong down bow. And the fact that you've understated that pickup makes it come out even stronger. See that? Okay, does that answer your question, Elaine? So it's not like a specific, it's more like a general idea of slurring for that big down bow. Okay? Everybody get that idea? Cool. Shall we try it like that? Okay, now I'll go really slow and you guys just try to follow my bowing. Just try to, and I'll tell you, I'll give you a hint. It's going to be kind of like up, up, down, up, up, down, up, down. I'll try to say it. My buddy Patrick Orso, he keeps trying to be able to do that. Say the bowings while he's teaching the tune. I've never tried it, but I'll give it a try right now. Okay, so we're starting with up, up, down. Ready, 2, 3, slow. Up, up, down. Up, up, down. Up, down, up. Down, up, down, up. Up, up, down, up, down, up. Down. Up, up, down. Up, down. Up, down, up, down. Up, down. Up, up, down. Down, up, up, down. Okay, now so that's kind of the first part. That's how I bowed it. Was that useful? Were you guys able to follow along while I was saying that? No, Elizabeth? It's hard. It's hard because I'm doing it right when you're supposed to be playing it. You know, let's do it again. Let's do it again right away. Same idea.
Well, it's almost the ups are all in the eighth note to the quarter notes.
Yeah. Basically,
Okay.
yes, that's a good point there, Bill. That's basically it. It's like, you know, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. See, like that. That kind of an overwhelming pattern. Good point. Let's do it again. I'll try again. I did pretty good, I thought. Except halfway through, I got mixed up and started to do letter names of notes instead of bowings. It's going to do my head in. I need to be 3 Dans. Okay. 1, 2, 3, ready, and up, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 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 down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down. Now that looked like it worked a little bit. Did that work a little bit for some people? How was it that time, Elizabeth? It seemed like you were following better that time.
No, I was just uppy downy.
Okay, see, and that works. That you can't go wrong. Watch me do it. Totally works. It will get you there if you need to get there. But then when you compare it to you hear the difference in the phrasing and the style there. And it's a simple thing. It's one simple idea. So you can play with it. If you don't do it every time, that's okay. If you manage to get it in, say, once in the A part and once in the B part for the endings or the opening, you're going to get there. It's all right. See what I mean? But then the rest of the time, straight uppy downy. It's going to give you the good results. Okay? Let's try that opening phrase one more time. So remember, it's up, up, down, up, up, down. Just remember that, okay? Okay. Okay, and remember that now this, it is a hard one slurring across the strings, but I'll give you one piece of advice for that. Keep the bow moving, and you'll have less of this and more of this. Okay, let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Up, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, 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 down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Hey, that looked like it worked okay. All right, how'd it feel? Anybody starting to feel that on the arm, that rhythm?
That feels much better.
Oh,
Sounds
good.
better.
That's great. That's
Although
great.
I'm trying to read the music and watch the bowling on this at the same time on the screen, so that's the hardest part.
Now, what you can do is you can go back to the recording tomorrow, you know, in your lots of spare time there, Lena. You can go back to the recording and you can actually write in what I'm saying. on your music, and that might make it a lot easier. You know, I hesitate to go and do that because there's so many bowing variations for each tune. So I don't like to kind of prescribe people, you know, you should do this. But if you go back and you put a few of those ups in, that should do the job for you. Okay, that's great though. I'm glad it's improving your sound. Anybody else found that it improved things a little bit? A bit. Mary was just cracking up watching me try to say the bowings while I was playing. It's pretty funny. My God, I'm going to have to tell Patrick that I'm getting up on him now. I can do it for a slow air. I can do it. Okie dokie. So let's try now. So that's the end of that. So let's leave it at that. I want you guys to just play with that bowing this week at home, and we'll talk about it again next time. We'll see who's had some success, where we can go from there, okay? So just follow that opening phrase idea right through the whole tune, and we'll see what happens next week. Now, the old carry polka. Shall we give that a go? I think we might as well. Yes. Okay. Now, while you're getting it out, I'll play it a couple of times so you can have the Irish shrapnel ringing around inside your helmet. Now, some people were playing right along with me. That's great. That was a decent clip. So that's very, very good. Very impressed to see that. Now, why don't we take her back a couple of notches here and go nice and slow and see if we can put her all together and remember it from last week. All right?
Did we learn this by ear? Or did you send a note?
I did send notes. You didn't get notes?
Did you?
Okay, let's see here.
Okay, I look for them.
Just hold on. I'll just send it to you. It's easier. The carry polka. Where is it now? Here it is. Yes. Forward to Katya. Is there anybody else that didn't get it? Okay. Okay, you should have it as soon as it gets back from outer space. Okay, so we're going to go really slow. We're going to play this carry polka. It's going to be awesome. Did you get it yet, Katya? Okay, good. Excellent. And there's one with fingerings written in there. In case that helps. Okay, here we go. Very, very slow, people. 1, 2, 3, go! part. Okay, so let me just check in before we keep grinding away. Anybody having any problems with any of that? I know Katya's going to be kind of trial by fire, but I'm sure you're up for it. Anybody having anything that they want to ask me about before we play it 100 times?
Yeah, just one question. When you get to the end of the line and you're on a down bow, then to start on the next one, I notice you slur a couple to kind of get back.
Yeah.
Or
So
can you play a little break, like a little...
I play a pickup note. Most of the time I add a pickup note to turn my bow around. And in this tune, most people do... Yeah, a little E.
Okay.
See that? A little up bow E to do that. Now the other way that you can do it is stop and start, which a lot of people do, I have to say, which is this. See that? And which, you know, might work for you. We just finished working on stopping the bow nice and clean. So, but I will tell you, for me, it's a little bit more intuitive to put that little up bow in and then start again. And it would be the same E pickup note for both parts. Okay? That might help. Anybody else have any questions like that? That was an excellent, excellent question. Poor Heather's sitting out half of it because most of it's on the E string. But we're going to do something about that. Once we get finished practicing it a couple of more times, we're going to do it down a couple of strings. Have you ever noticed that on the fiddle, how you can do tunes down a couple of strings in a different key without even worrying about it at all? That's how I play with the pipes. When I play with the Highland pipes, I tune my whole fiddle up a half step so that I can just play just like regular A major and my fiddle sounds out B flat major. See that? Yeah. Great trick. It's awesome. But this tune, if I were to put it down 2 strings, this tune would sound like this. That's in now. It's in G, the people's key. See that? So it's really cool, and it's good exercise for both your ear and your hand. But anyway, so poor Heather's going to have to imagine the E string parts right now and just go through the motions. And the rest of us will start grinding away at this if there's no more questions, okay? Let's do it. Nice and easy there, guys. 1, 2, 3. Okay, everybody looks like they're moving really nicely there. Fingers coming down right. Anybody having any problems? No, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Yes, Elaine.
Yeah. Dan, sorry, in the B section,
Yeah.
we have dotted notes in there that you don't seem to be.
No, see, anytime you see dotted stuff in these polkas, it's kind of an ornament. So, like, for instance,
Okay.
I am doing the one on the E, right? So,
Yeah.
yeah. But if you look at the O'Neills, I think it's in O'Neills, it's just straight eighth notes. Most polkas are written out just straight eighth notes, and people do all kinds of stuff, you know? There's lots of different things you can do, you know? But if I were you, for now, I would just stick to those straight eights. You can't go wrong. Okay, good question, though. The session.org is confusing in that way. Does anybody want to play it for me? I do all the playing all the time, I feel like. Does anybody want to play for me?
I'll give it a roll.
All right. You first, then Bill. Really good, Elizabeth. Really, really good. Excellent. So I'll tell you the good things first, which is what I always love to do. So very good intonation. Your D's are nice. Your high A's are nice. That's all good. So keep relying on that left hand because it's doing a good job. The right hand, I liked your slurs that you were putting in there. They were well placed. You probably just noticed me doing them. And it's going to help for sure. It seems to be helping a lot. Now, the only reason you're getting that bit of a kind of a little crunchiness to your sound is only just a hesitation, a failure to move. That's it. If you put on gas pedal through all that, you wouldn't have had any of that scratchiness. You would have just had more power. Which, like I said, your left hand is doing great. So more power would be most welcome right now. Everything is going to come out really good. I find that this kind of failure for the bow to move is often psychological. It's just because you're worried about the sound that's going to come out. But I'll tell you that your left hand looks good. Your intonation looks good. Let's move the bow so you can hear it. I think you'll be well pleased.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, really, really good. Who else? Bill, were you going to do it, Bill? Oh, you gotta unmute though.
All right.
Yeah, let's hear it. Woo-hoo, Bill. Bill. That sounds really good. Very good. A couple of things I really liked about it. The rhythm was nice and solid. Okay, really nice and solid. And your intonation, it sharpened a little bit, but you kept bringing it back. And so that's really good. By the time you were done, it was pretty good, you know. The other thing I really liked is the little rhythm that you had in there. It's really, really good. Your problem with touching the other strings that you didn't want to be touching mostly had to do with the fact that you were playing up in this part of the bow. And when you're playing in this part of the bow, it wants to fall over onto those other strings. It really, and the whole time you're playing down here, you got to keep it off of those other strings. So you might try next time playing it down here where you don't have to contend with that. All right?
Thank you.
No problem. Great job. Anybody else brave like Bill who wants to play me this polka? You, Heather? Just kidding. Just kidding. How about Lena? You want to give it a go, Lena?
All right.
Why not?
Why not? I was
All right.
doing the slurs, and now I have to take them away. So.
Oh, I like the slurs. Do the slurs.
Okay, I'll do the slurs.
Yeah, go ahead. Slurs are good. Two thumbs up, Lena. That sounds great. Intonation, great. I'm sure you noticed, like, if you have your tuner on, you would see that it was green the whole time. And good bowing. I like your slurs. I like your rhythm. The only thing is, I think we should try going faster.
Right. Okay.
Really good. Really, really
Can
good. Yeah. Anybody else before we try going faster? I'm all jazzed up to go faster now. Okay, here we go. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and... How'd we do with the faster there, guys? Is it okay? Anybody have any problem?
Squeaky.
What's that? Sorry?
Very squeaky.
Squeaky, okay. Have I told you about the 5 leading causes of squeaking? Which one do you think you were doing?
I'm not sure. All of them, probably.
All of them. So I was looking at you before, and I didn't really see very much of the number 1 problem, which is too close to the bridge. But I do realize that with this tune, like I was watching it myself there actually, because I got this new move that I've started to do. Because with this tune that goes between E and A, sometimes people have a tendency, here's the A, looking good, looking nice and straight, here's the E. See that? And that's my problem. My problem is this exactly. So lately I've been using my pinky and my 3rd finger here to drag that bow in a little bit every time I go to the E. See that? And it's really been giving me a really good result. Because like lately I've been a little bit obsessed with eliminating the micro squeaks from my playing. Like the little tiny little things that really annoy me. You know what I mean? It's like, especially on a recording, it's extremely annoying. And they're small, and you guys might not even hear them, but I feel them here on the fiddle, and I feel them on the bow, and it really takes away from what I'm doing. So I'm trying to eliminate that completely. And so I've noticed, and mostly it's because of the zoom window. I didn't realize I was doing this before, but now I've been staring at myself for the past year playing the fiddle, and I noticed that when I went over to the E string, I do this little move, like that, and I have to drag those fingers in, and now I'm straight. See that? And it has really eliminated quite a lot of squeaks. So I wonder if you might have a similar angle thing going on when you go over to the E. Now, I've noticed all the hundreds of students that I've taught that you got 2 things. People that do this when they go to the E, like me, and people that do this when they go to the E. Okay, which might be you. Who knows? I don't know. I'd have to watch you. So you can try to notice that about yourself. See, is that what you got going, Lena? Yeah, I would say this is more common. I'm trying to remember now which is more common, but both are prevalent. This and this. So you want to correct that. You want to do some move to make sure you don't do that. Now, with most of the students that I've taught, I've noticed that all you got to do is try not to tuck your elbow in when you go to the E. Try to leave your elbow where it is. Go to the E that way. And it's way straighter. As soon as you tuck that elbow in, you get an angle. See that? So try to use just your hand. Might help a little bit. Okay? It's good to point out because a lot of the time when you go faster, that's when you notice squeaks or problems with the sound. It's really good. Good to notice. Okay, shall we try now? Let's try this, guys. So we're going to try the same speed, approximately the same speed, but let's do it on the A and the D string instead. So give Heather a chance to try to play this tune. And for you guys, if for all of you, it'll be a change of reference. It'll be interesting to the ear. Okay? So instead of E1, it's going to be A1. Okay? 1, 2, 3, and... All right, now how'd that go?
They played it better.
You thought it was better, eh?
I played it better.
Oh.
I played it better down there than I did up there.
Interesting. Yeah, well, certainly you don't have the E string to contend with, so because the E string's tricky, it's Squeak City if you know any little thing. So that's great, Bill. Awesome. I thought it was nice at that key. I thought it lacked a little bit of kind of like whoo hoo hoo. It's not interesting, eh? Like when you put them side by side. So. Whoa! See that? The arses really get going then if you did that. That is serious, you know? Because you went from G to A, that's like quite a lift. But anyway, so there you go. So it's an interesting kind of thing to do. How did you get along, Heather, with that?
Fine, it was just too fast. But otherwise, I was able to play along a little bit.
Yeah, cool. So it was still a little fast for you?
Still a little fast, yeah.
Do you notice anywhere in particular where you really noticed it was too fast or just kind of all over?
The first half to me is faster than the second half. The second half to me is really easy.
Okay.
But the first half's a little bit faster.
Is it the string crossing?
I guess, yeah, the jumping.
The jumping, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do it again. And because we wanted to do it just so you'd have a chance to do it, so we want to make sure you can do it so that you can actually get through it. And this time, I want you to try really hard to only use your hand to cross strings. Because using the whole arm is going to slow you down quite a bit. Now, it's not going to be right away, just something to think about, and your hand will hopefully start doing it. Okay? One more time in the key of G. 1, 2, 3, slow. Again. All right, now, is that a better speed, Heather? Were you able to make it that time? Excellent, very good. Okay, so that's great on that tune there, the what do you call it, carry polka. So keep practicing it with speed in mind, ease and speed, and when Heather gets the new E string, we're going to be an unstoppable band here, and we'll play it next week. We'll try to get it a lot faster next week, okay? That's what we'll try to do. And I don't want to learn anything new tonight because there's a bunch of people that can't make it, and we weren't even supposed to have class tonight, so I thought it'd be better to just practice. But it does make me think of a polka that we should put after this one. And some of you might already know it because the Celtic Orchestra told me that they did it lots. But for you guys, if you already know it, this is going to be your opportunity to increase speed and intonation and sound to get this tune sounded like you could actually pull it out and play it. And it's called Sean Ryan's Polka. All right? And it was made famous because everybody here watched the Titanic with Leo. Everybody watched Leo and the Titanic there? Yeah. So remember when they were in steerage down in the bottom deck or whatever, and it was all the Irish people, and they were having a great big party and playing a polka. They're playing Sean Ryan's Polka in that scene in the movie. Okay? And I actually taught the fiddle player that's in that movie, in that scene. Her name is Samantha Hunt, and she was in a band, one of the worst bands in the world, called Gaelic Storm. And it's kind of interesting because apparently James Cameron chose that band because he thought, he had the strange idea that a boat coming over from Ireland to Canada would have terrible musicians on it. Why he would think that, especially at that time in history, turn of the century, that's when Michael Colman came over to America, for God's sakes. There was probably 3 or 4 awesome players on that boat. But anyway, he had this idea that it must be a bad group of musicians on the boat. And so he really did pick the worst band in the world to play in that movie. And so when I was teaching Samantha, I mean, it was ridiculous. I'd try to help her improve her scales and intonation and stuff because it was just disastrous. And she kept saying, "Can you just teach me something that everybody's going to clap for?" But anyway, it is a great tune. And because of that movie, it's really well known the world over. So I'm sure you've heard it before, you know? Thank you. And it's kind of funny, like, it's not uncommon with that tune. There's a few others like it as well. But you go to an Irish session, like in Dublin, for instance, and when they play that tune, for some reason, everybody stands up. I don't know why, but it is very, very hilarious. Anyway, so I thought maybe we'd do that next week. Sean Ryan's Polka. And I'll send out music for it, of course. But go ahead and get yourself familiar with it. It's in the key of D. So I think that'd make a nice change going from the Carrie Polka into that. Okay? No, it's the same key. Sorry. But it'll still be a really nice change. It'll be a big uplifting. I'll show you. So, that'd be a great change, and we haven't put together a set yet, and I think it would be very good to put together a set. So that's the idea for next week. Okay, now let's practice our Carrie Polka a couple more times. We'll do it in both keys. Why don't we do that? So let's do it once in the key of D that it's written in, and then the second time we'll move down and play it in the key of G. And I'm going to push you a little bit, so be prepared. Okay, put your seatbelts on. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, and... Nice key change. Everybody get along okay with the key change? That's great, see? It's awesome. It'll make a good violinist out of you. Play stuff in different keys and everything. Just be glad you're not a jazzer. Those guys have to do everything in all 12 keys. Everything they learn, they have to do in all 12 keys. It's nuts. I was a drummer in jazz school. I was very happy to not have to do that. But the other fellas, the saxophone players and the guitar players, they were sweating, do everything they learned. They did it all over the instrument. It's really incredible. But it's very good for your ears, very good for your hand. All right.
Dan,
Yes.
is there anything about a piece that's in 2/4 time? Anything about that makes a big difference?
Oh yeah, the two feel is really significant. Like it's a little bit different than a reel, you know, but only a little. Because basically you got, like with a reel, you still have a two feel because your foot's coming down 2 times per measure. Yum decka decka deedle dappa deedle decka deedle wow deedle decka deedle 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 da. But with the polka, it's kind of a truncated two feel. And in fact, in Ireland, for instance in Kerry, the way that they play a tune like this would be to slur 2 notes per bow. It has a really wild feel that really gets everybody up and dancing. See how that is there? They really take it to the extreme. It's kind of like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And basically it's just where that downbeat keeps coming and hammering away at you, you know? So it's a good point, Bill. That's what a polka's like. That's why it's such a relentless dance. And if you've ever seen the dance, it is quite, they're swinging each other around and they step dance through the whole thing as well, usually, anyway. Okay, so now let's keep working on our stuff. So I think we learned the swallowtail. Did we learn the swallowtail? Or the kesh? The kesh. Let's take a look at the kesh. We should take a look at the swallowtail. We did learn it. Some of you guys learned it at one time there, yeah. Yeah. Who does not know the swallowtail? Heather? Is that it? Everybody else has done it? Okay, Heather, I'll teach it to you, man. You'll get it too. Everybody will be doing it. It'll be really good. Okay, because I think we should put the swallowtail together with the kesh. I think it'd be a really good set. I'll show you. I'll play the 2 tunes. Here's the swallowtail. Isn't that great? So what's so nice about that change is that the swallowtail is in the key of E minor. E minor is the relative minor of G major. The kesh jig is in G major. So you can hear now how complementary that relationship is. When you go from an E minor tune to a G major tune, it's like the sun coming out in the middle of the afternoon. It really is, you know? Or any of them. If you play a B minor tune and then go into its relative major, which is D, that is a great change as well. If you play a A minor tune and then go into its relative major, which is C, oh man, love that as well. So that's why that change is so nice. So when you're trying to put a tune set together, remember that. Remember that the relatives love to go with each other. And in fact, many tunes, the A part will be the major key and the B part will be the minor key, or vice versa. Like Knopman's Rambles, for instance, is a good example of that. The first part is in D, and the second part is in B minor, which is relative. It's a great setup. So anyway, so we're going to do those two tunes together. For now, let's practice our kesh. Okay? We're going to practice the old kesh. I can't remember how fast we got it last going off. I think it was kind of, I'm going to guess, and it was kind of like... Would that be about the right tempo there? Yeah? It's a good starting tempo anyway. Okay. Ahead dead slow. 1, 2, 3, go. Again. Faster! Looking good, everybody. Looking really good. You don't even look tired, for God's sakes. How'd everybody feel about that? Okay? No problems or stopping points? Except for no E string there, Heather.
Yeah, the end, which I can't play, unfortunately. It sounds like you're playing way more notes that are here. The end is the last two bars are I don't even I can't do them.
Let me see here. Let me see about this.
Just the G A G A B.
Okay. Yeah, I played G F G on that E2 where it's the long E2 there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I played a G F G there, which many people play. It's kind of an ornament because eventually we're going to put an ornament on there. We're going to put a roll on that G. And playing G F G is kind of the beginning of a roll. All we got to do is add one upper note and that's going to be an ornament. See what I mean there?
Yeah.
Okay,
Because
so
I have that written down as the roll, but I wasn't playing them as single notes. I would just play G and then go ahead with A after that.
yep, and that's a not a bad way to do it, especially at this stage of the game. And GFG is going to work good too. Okay, so you might give that a try. I think it'll serve you well because we will be putting a roll on there, and I think that's really the basis of a roll. But very good question there, Heather. Thanks for pointing that out. I have so many versions of these tunes. It's hard to remember exactly, which one we did. But anyway, it's good to get it open-ended anyway. Anybody else having any bits or pieces that threw them off there? All good? Okay. So next week, I want you to practice the swallowtail. Okay, and for Heather, it's going to be brand new. But like I was saying before, it's on the video from last time. If you go on our YouTube channel, it's in one of the first few classes on there. I teach it like completely with phrase by phrase. And of course, it's on there really slow as well. And I'll send out the music to everybody. Okay, so you can try to have a crack at it. And then for everybody else that already kind of know it, there's also the 4 people that couldn't be here tonight that don't know it as well. So we'll be going through it nice and slow, and we'll put it together with Kesh to make our very first set of tunes. Okay? Won't that be exciting?
Hey, Dan, when we're not playing, like, where can we get you playing these songs, the Cash and those songs?
On our YouTube channel.
See, like I go to the YouTube channel, it's got a bunch of tunes, but it doesn't have Cash or it doesn't have most of the ones that we're playing.
Oh, I think you might be on the wrong one. I have 2 YouTube channels. I have one for the teaching, which is what that has all the stuff that you guys have been learning. It's called Dan McDonald Fiddle Teacher. And then I have another one for the Celtic Orchestra. And that has 70-some videos on it. So I'll send you a link directly to the Kesh there, Bill. That'll take you right to the proper page.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. It is confusing. My God, I was looking at the videos the other day. There's a lot of videos up there. There's a lot. And I was just editing some there. I'm about to put up 15 more videos of medium. This is all medium tempo of the tunes that we've learned. Because so many people, yeah, there you go, Katya. So many people were anxious to have medium tempo versions. So I did a whole bunch of them and I did some editing and I'm going to upload all those. But it can be confusing. But it's the Dan McDonald Fiddle Teacher YouTube channel. And I'll send you the link for that right now, Bill. Okay? Everybody else straight enough for this week? And next week we'll put all that stuff together. We'll make our set. And it'll be great. Thanks for tuning in tonight, even though we weren't supposed to have class. Yes.
Dan, was it next week you said we were starting earlier?
Yes, because of St. Patrick's shenanigans. So we'll be starting at 6 o'clock next week.
Okay.
Okay? Awesome. We'll see you guys then. Have a great week.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Make it.
Bye-bye.